You know what's interesting? Men notice a lot more than they'll ever say. It's not always your hair or your outfit or how you look in a photo. It's the energy you walk in with, the way you speak, the way you treat yourself when no one's watching. Men may act chill, but they pick up everything. And the truth is, what they notice first isn't about appearance. It's about presence. So let's talk about the 7 subtle things women don't realize men secretly notice instantly. Confidence is one of those things that doesn't always announce itself. It's not loud. It's not dramatic. It's quiet, steady, and it lives in the way you move through a room without needing anyone to validate that you belong there. Men notice that instantly. They notice the woman who doesn't have to prove her worth because she already knows it. She's not chasing attention. She's not performing. She's just being. And that right there is magnetic. There's something powerful about calm confidence. It's the kind that doesn't rise and fall depending on who's in the room or what someone thinks. It's not built on makeup, looks, or likes. It's built on peace. The kind that says, I know who I am, and I'm not here to convince anyone. Men pick up on that energy without a single word being spoken. Because when you're comfortable in your own skin, you shift the energy around you. You stop competing, you stop comparing, and you start radiating this grounded sense of self that people can't quite describe, but they feel it. Men are drawn to that because it's rare. The world is full of noise. People trying to outshine each other, to prove something, to win attention that doesn't even last. But when a woman walks in who's at peace with herself, who doesn't need to be the loudest or the most noticed, she instantly stands out. She's the calm in the chaos. She's the quiet confidence that doesn't need to perform. And that subtlety, that grace, it doesn't go unseen. Confidence like that isn't arrogance. It's self-awareness. It's knowing your value so deeply that you don't have to over-explain or overextend to earn someone's approval. It's in the way you listen more than you speak. The way you hold eye contact without flinching. The way you carry your body, shoulders back, head high, not to show off, but to honor yourself. That's the kind of presence that says, I respect me. Men notice the difference between confidence and attention-seeking, even if they don't say it out loud. One pulls them in, the other drains them. And here's the truth. When a woman truly knows her worth, she becomes someone you don't want to mess with because she's not chasing you, she's choosing whether or not to let you in. That energy changes everything. It creates a standard. It says, if you want to be in my space, bring peace, not problems. And that's what calm confidence really is, peace. It's not about acting like nothing affects you. It's about not letting everything control you. It's about being so centered that even when things get uncomfortable, you stay grounded. You can walk away from what doesn't feel right without losing your balance. You can stay kind without being naive. You can stay open without being desperate. Men find that deeply attractive because it communicates something words can't. It says, I'm not here to be saved. I'm here to be seen fully, honestly, as I am. And that's a different kind of beauty, the kind that doesn't fade because it's built on strength, not show. So when you carry yourself with calm confidence, you don't just attract attention, you command respect. You become the woman who doesn't chase energy, she creates it. The woman who doesn't need to speak louder to be heard. The woman whose silence speaks volumes. Because when you know who you are, you don't have to prove it. You simply show it without saying a word. You can tell a lot about a person by the way they handle moments that don't go their way. Anybody can seem calm when life feels comfortable, when everything's going right, when the conversation is easy. But real character, the kind that quietly earns respect, shows up when things get uncomfortable. Men notice that instantly. They notice how you respond when something small goes wrong, when plans change, when someone pushes your buttons. It's not about perfection, it's about presence. The woman who doesn't lose herself in chaos, who can breathe, pause, and respond with grace. That's the woman who stands out without trying. It's easy to think that being attractive is about how you look when everything's perfect. But the truth is, it's how you carry yourself when everything isn't. When you can stay calm instead of snapping back. When you can step away instead of making a scene. When you can hold your peace instead of trying to prove your point. That kind of self-control doesn't just show maturity, it shows strength. Because it's not about pretending you don't feel things, it's about choosing not to let those feelings run the show. Men notice that strength. They notice when you don't let small things shake you. When you don't get caught up in unnecessary drama. When you don't let someone else's mood decide your own. It's not that you don't care, it's that you've learned how to protect your energy. And that energy speaks volumes. It tells them you're grounded. You've done the work to build emotional balance. And that's something men respect on a level that goes deeper than words. The truth is, emotional stability is rare. And it's powerful because life will always test you. People will disappoint you. Circumstances will challenge you. But how you respond, that's your power. When you can stay composed under pressure, you send a message, I'm not controlled by chaos. And that quiet control doesn't just earn attention, it earns admiration. It says you've built yourself from the inside out. And here's what's interesting. When a woman handles stress with calm, it doesn't make her cold. It makes her trustworthy. It makes her safe to be around. Men pick up on that energy right away. They know they're not stepping into a storm every time something small goes wrong. They feel that peace, and it draws them closer because it feels rare. It feels like home, but it's not about suppressing emotion or pretending everything's fine. It's about emotional awareness, knowing when to speak and when to let silence do the work. It's knowing when something deserves your reaction and when your peace is more valuable than being right. That takes strength. That takes time. And when you master that, it changes the way people see you. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Reaction is fast, it's loud, it's emotional. Response is intentional. It's quiet. It's thoughtful. It's what happens when you've learned not to let the outside world pull you out of alignment. Men notice when a woman carries that balance. When she's not easily provoked, not easily manipulated. It makes them feel they're dealing with someone who knows herself, who's not afraid of silence, who doesn't crumble under pressure. Because at the end of the day, anyone can look composed when life is easy. But when life gets messy, that's when your true power shows. When you can stay calm in the middle of uncertainty, you're not just holding peace. You are peace. And that's what men notice most. Not how loud you speak when you're upset, but how steady you stay when everything else is falling apart. You can tell everything you need to know about a person by how they treat people who can't give them anything. Men notice that instantly. It's one of those subtle things that says so much about your character without you ever realizing it. Because the truth is, kindness isn't proven in how you act with people you want to impress. It's revealed in how you treat the ones you don't have to be nice to. The waiter, the cleaner, the cashier, the stranger holding the door. Those small moments say more about who you are than any words ever could. When a man watches a woman treat others with quiet respect, without judgment, without superiority, something in him pays attention. It's not about being polite for show. It's about genuine decency. Real compassion doesn't need an audience. It's not selective. It's not transactional. It's who you are when no one's watching, when there's nothing to gain. And that's the kind of beauty men don't forget, because it shows depth. It shows softness without weakness. It shows that you lead with heart, not ego. The world is full of people who perform kindness. They're kind when it looks good, when it's convenient, when someone's watching. But genuine kindness, the kind that's instinctive, effortless, consistent, that's rare. And when a man sees a woman who treats everyone with dignity, even in small moments, he knows she's not just kind, she's grounded. She values people, not position. And that speaks to the kind of emotional intelligence that can't be faked. It's easy to be charming to the ones you want to impress. It's easy to smile when you're surrounded by attention. But it takes real grace to be kind when nobody's watching, when you're tired, when you're stressed. When the world hasn't been kind to you, that's when your true nature shows. And men who are paying attention, they see that. They see the way you look someone in the eye and say thank you. They see the patience in your tone when others might be dismissive. They see the respect you give to every person you meet. That's the kind of subtle strength that doesn't fade, because kindness isn't weakness. It's power under control. It's the ability to stay good in a world that isn't always fair. It's knowing that being kind doesn't make you small, it makes you secure. You don't need to tear anyone down to feel important. You don't need to be above someone to feel valuable. You already know who you are, and that's why your kindness carries weight. And here's what most people don't realize: men notice patterns. They might not comment on it, but they see how you treat people when the moment doesn't benefit you. They notice if your warmth disappears when you're not getting attention. They notice if you treat others differently based on what they can offer. That awareness tells them everything about what kind of partner, friend, or human you are. Because consistency in character, that's rare. The woman who stays kind, even when no one's clapping for her, has a strength that can't be measured. It's not about trying to be perfect. It's about choosing grace when frustration would be easier. It's about keeping your empathy intact when life tries to harden you. That's not naivety. That's powerful. Because it takes courage to stay soft in a world that teaches you to be cold. Men notice that softness. Not the kind that makes you weak, but the kind that makes you human. The kind that reminds them what peace feels like. It's the small gestures that stay in their mind, the tone in your voice when you speak to someone with kindness, even when it doesn't matter. Because real beauty isn't in what you say or how you look, it's in how you make people feel, even the ones who have nothing to offer you. Emotional self-control is one of the most underrated forms of strength. It's not about suppressing your feelings or pretending you don't have them. It's about knowing when and how to express them. Men notice that more than you think. They pay attention to how you handle frustration, how you respond to conflict, how you react when something doesn't go your way. Because in those moments, your emotional awareness speaks louder than your words ever could. Anyone can be kind when everything feels right. But when emotions rise, when someone says something that hits a nerve, when you feel misunderstood or disrespected, that's when true composure shows up. It's easy to fire back, to defend, to match energy. But the woman who takes a breath instead of reacting, who chooses calm over chaos, stands out. She doesn't need to win the argument because she's already won the battle with herself. That's real power, quiet, controlled, and deeply felt. Men notice the difference between emotion that's expressed with maturity and emotion that's weaponized. They see when a woman has learned to sit with her feelings instead of letting them run her life. There's a depth in that. A woman who can feel everything but still think clearly. That's rare. It shows she's done the inner work, that she's built a kind of stability that isn't easily shaken. And that kind of woman doesn't just attract attention, she earns trust. Emotional self-control isn't about being cold or detached. It's about balance. It's knowing when to speak from clarity rather than anger. It's having the patience to pause before reacting, to ask yourself, is this worth my peace? It's the ability to disagree without disrespect. And when a man sees that, when he feels that, he knows he's dealing with someone who can handle life, not just the good parts, but the hard ones too. There's something quietly powerful about a woman who doesn't let emotions dictate her every move. It doesn't mean she doesn't feel deeply. It means she's learned that reacting on impulse often costs more than it gives. She doesn't let every opinion shake her, every comment trigger her, every disappointment break her. She knows her emotions are valid, but they don't define her behavior. That discipline doesn't make her less emotional. It makes her emotionally intelligent. Men respect that. They notice when you don't feed into drama, when you don't turn small things into explosions, when you choose peace over proving a point. It's not about being passive. It's about being in control of yourself. That self-mastery is attractive because it brings stability, and stability in a world full of noise and reaction is rare, it's grounding, it's safe. Because truthfully, emotional control is what keeps your power in your hands. The moment you let anger, jealousy, or insecurity take over, you hand that power away. You start responding to the situation instead of leading it. But when you stay centered, when you remain calm enough to see clearly, you take your power back. You decide what deserves your energy and what doesn't. And that quiet confidence, that emotional steadiness, changes the way people see you. Men notice that kind of control because it's not about dominance. It's about peace. It's about the ability to stay kind without being walked over, to stay calm without being numb, to stay strong without being harsh. It's the balance between heart and mind, emotion and logic. It's knowing that you can feel everything deeply and still choose wisely. Because in the end, real strength isn't how loud you can shout your feelings. It's how gracefully you can carry them without losing yourself. There's something unshakable about a woman who walks with self-respect. You can see it before she even speaks. It's in her posture, in her choices, in the way she carries her silence. Men notice that instantly. It's not about arrogance or attitude. It's about energy. The kind that says, I know my worth, and I won't negotiate it. That presence alone changes how people treat her. Because when you respect yourself, you teach others how to treat you without saying a word. Self-respect isn't about being untouchable or guarded. It's about having clear boundaries, the kind that protect your peace, your time, and your heart. It's choosing not to entertain what doesn't serve you, not because you think you're better than anyone, but because you finally understand your value. And that's something men pick up on immediately. They notice when a woman doesn't chase, when she doesn't beg for attention, when she doesn't lose herself trying to keep someone else. That restraint, that self-assurance, it's powerful. A woman with self-respect doesn't move from desperation, she moves from clarity. She knows the difference between wanting someone and needing someone. She knows that love should never cost her dignity. And because of that, her energy feels different. She's not trying to prove anything. She's not trying to force connection. She's allowing what's real to find her. Men sense that peace. They feel that strength, and they're drawn to it, even if they can't quite explain why. When you hold yourself to a higher standard, you naturally filter out the people who can't meet it. And that's the beauty of self-respect. It doesn't just protect you, it elevates you. It keeps you from settling for half love, half effort, half truths. It reminds you that your time, your kindness, and your energy are privileges, not guarantees. The woman who understands that never has to beg to be valued because she values herself first. Men notice how you handle yourself when someone crosses your line. They notice when you say no without guilt, when you walk away from mixed signals, when you don't chase closure that someone should have given you. Those moments reveal your strength more than anything else. Because it's easy to stay when it's comfortable, but walking away when it's not healthy, that's courage. That's growth. That's the kind of quiet power that makes people rethink how they approach you. Self-respect also shows in how you treat yourself when no one's watching. How you speak to yourself, how you care for yourself, how you refuse to shrink just to make others comfortable. It's about being gentle with your flaws and proud of your progress. It's choosing to build yourself instead of breaking yourself down for approval that never lasts. When a woman lives like that, men don't just see her. They feel her presence. Because there's something magnetic about someone who's rooted in their own worth. And here's the truth. When you carry self-respect, you stop attracting people who test it. Your energy shifts. You no longer chase validation. because you've learned that peace feels better than attention. You no longer confuse chemistry with consistency. You start to realize that love without respect isn't love at all. And when you hold that standard, you naturally draw people who see your value, not the ones who try to make you question it. Men notice when you stand firm in who you are. They notice the calm confidence that comes from knowing you'll be okay, whether someone chooses you or not. Because real beauty isn't in being wanted, it's in being respected. And the moment you start respecting yourself fully, the world around you starts to do the same. There's a certain kind of glow that can't be faked. It's not about makeup, style, or perfection. It's an energy, the kind that comes from being genuinely content with who you are. Men notice that instantly. They might not always be able to describe it, but they feel it. It's the calm in your presence, the softness in your eyes, the peace that follows you when you walk into a room. It's the kind of energy that says, I'm good on my own. I don't need to be completed. I'm already whole. That's what men find magnetic. Not the woman who's trying too hard to be noticed, but the one who's at peace even when no one's watching. Because when you love your own company, when you've learned how to fill your own cup, your energy becomes light, effortless, grounded. You stop reaching outward for what you already have within you, and that's when everything about you starts to attract the right kind of attention, not because you're trying to, but because you don't have to. When you're genuinely happy with yourself, it shows in the smallest ways. In the way you laugh freely, without wondering who's watching, in the way you speak kindly to yourself after a bad day, in the way you don't chase validation because you've learned that peace is more valuable than approval. Men sense that peace. They see the difference between a woman who's centered and one who's searching, and they're drawn to the one who radiates quiet confidence, the one who doesn't need constant reassurance to feel secure. That kind of self-contentment comes from doing the inner work, from facing your own thoughts, from healing your own wounds, from learning that solitude isn't loneliness. It's strength. It's spending time with yourself until your own silence feels like safety, not punishment. It's being proud of who you are becoming, even if no one else claps for you. That's what gives you that rare, unshakable glow that people can't quite put into words, but can't ignore either. And here's what most don't realize. When you're happy within yourself, you stop trying to control everything around you. You stop over-explaining. You stop over-giving. You stop begging people to stay. You start flowing instead of forcing. That's what makes you powerful. That's what makes you magnetic. You're no longer trying to make people see your value. You've already seen it yourself. Men notice that shift. They notice when your energy changes from needing love to being love. It's subtle, but it's undeniable. Men are instinctively drawn to women who carry peace within them because that energy feels safe. It's not chaotic. It's not draining. It's grounding. When you're happy on your own, you don't enter a relationship to escape yourself. You enter it to share yourself. And that difference changes everything. It changes the kind of people you attract, the way you communicate, the way you love. Because when your happiness doesn't depend on someone else, you love more freely, not fearfully. And that's the thing men notice when you have that sense of self. When you're not trying to be someone else, when you're not seeking validation through someone's attention, when you're genuinely okay in your own space. It's not indifference, it's strength. It's knowing that your worth doesn't rise or fall based on who chooses you. It's the quiet assurance that you are enough without needing proof. Because the most beautiful thing a woman can ever wear is peace. And when she finds that within herself, it shows in everything she does.